Today's contestant is Josh Rogan from Curry. What's going on? I think a contestant has just summoned the devil.
Excuse me, sir. Can you come with us, please?
Right, David, you need to use the amulets.
What have you done?
I've used the Amulet of Time to transport everyone on the studio floor to a new dimension.
Tom, can you get a fire extinguisher, please?
Oh, certainly.
Cheers, mate.
What does this do to the game? Well, since we've entered into a new dimension, we're now playing Billionaire rules. Right. You and Stan are now playing together, and the top prize has been raised from 1 million to 1 billion. That's amazing. However, Josh, the amulet has linked Stan to the game. The amount of money you win will determine how powerful he becomes. In a bid to try and weaken him, we are deactivating the 25,000 gem milestone. As a result of this, however, you now receive 2 new lifelines. They are 3 wise men and take 2. Now, in terms of time, for each question, you get 2 minutes plus your banked time. This next question is worth 500,000 gems. If you answer it correctly, Stan will become 20 times more powerful. That's terrifying. But answer it incorrectly, Stan will become 25 times weaker, security will be able to escort him off the premises, and he won't be a threat to anyone. But I'll lose 24,000 gems.
That is true, Josh. Because of this, we should team up together.
I don't know. I don't really like the idea of the world being destroyed.
Do you like the idea of losing 24,000 gems, though?
What happens if I walk away? Stan's power remains as it is, we leave the dimension, and he is free to continue causing chaos. Right. Now, let's begin. For this question, you have 2 minutes, plus your banked time of 1 minute and 1 second. Here comes the question. What is the middle word in the 1982 song Africa by Toto? Kilimanjaro, Olympus, Serengeti, or frightened? Start the clock.
What kind of question is this?
Josh, you've got your head in your hands.
I know the answer.
Then you must tell me, fool.
A correct answer wins you 500,000 gems.
But it also gives Stan enough power to take over the world.
I just wanted a nice, simple game. That's what I applied for.
Tell me the answer, Josh, and I will spare you.
You want to know the answer?
Do I want to? Yes, obviously I want to know the answer. You will tell me, now.
The answer is Kilimanjaro.
Then we shall go for that. Hang on. You could just be telling me this to throw me off. Force me to get it wrong. Lose my powers. I must think very carefully about this.
You have got 3 lifelines at your disposal.
David, what are you telling him that for?
Sorry, force of habits.
I will ask your wise men.
Stop the clock.
David, I suppose it's time to reveal the wise men.
Okay, Josh, Stan, here are your wise men. They are Gary Lineker, Ian Wright, and Alan Shearer. Ooh, Gary, what are we doing here?
I'm not sure. I thought we were doing match of the day.
Hello, wise men. Ooh, Gary, I've never been called a wise man before. We've got a question here for 500,000 gems.
500,000 what?
The question is, what is the middle word in the 1982 song Africa by Toto?
Is it Kilimanjaro, Olympus, Serengeti, or frightened?
Ooh, Gary, I used to love that song almost as much as I love the bleeding races.
I don't have a clue. I was too busy scoring goals in 1982, getting Leicester into the first division.
No idea, blood.
I reckon it's Kilimanjaro, Gary.
My bet would be on Serengeti.
Nah, mate. Olympus, bruv.
Okay, so split between A, B and C. 1 minute and 52 seconds left on the clock, resuming now.
Well, I've asked 3 wise people. Might as well see what the expert thinks too.
Okay, stop the clock.
David Stryker is your expert. David, what do you think?
I think I'm not going to tell you.
The expert can't refuse an answer.
He is right, David.
Fine. Well, considering the wise men gave you options A to C, I'll offer you option D.
So, no progress made there. The wise men and the expert all voting once each for options A to D.
Let's resume the clock again, now.
So, the situation is, I could walk away, fairly powerful, but beatable, maybe by, say, a Hydra or something else. Or go for an answer and potentially grow that power, but with only a 1 in 4 chance of being correct.
You do also still have a lifeline.
David, stop helping.
Sorry, habit.
Yes, but take 2. That gives me 2 answers, right? So a 2 in 4 chance. I like those odds.
I do just have to caution you. If you use take 2, you are not allowed to walk away.
I have no intention of walking away, fool. I will use take 2, David.
Stop the clock.
We need you to give us one answer right now, please. If it is correct, you progress to the next question.
If it is wrong, though, you will be left with 3 options where you will need to eliminate one of them before giving us your second answer.
I think you are lying, David. Frightened appears on the 8th line of the 2nd verse, whereas Kilimanjaro, Olympus and Serengeti are all on the 4th line.
We do need an answer.
Josh said Kilimanjaro, but he most likely said that to throw me off. Unless it was a double bluff to make me not choose it.
What will you pick?
Olympus is the word in the middle, and that's what Ian Wright picked. And I'm sure with a name like Ian Wright, he can't be wrong.
Is that going to be your first choice?
Yes, Olympus, please.
Penultimate answer.
Penultimate answer.
Josh, you said you know it. Is the answer Olympus?
No. David, can you reveal if Olympus was the correct answer?
Olympus was not the correct answer. It also means that Ian Wright was actually Ian wrong.
So now you're left with 3 options. You must now select an option to eliminate. If that eliminated option is the correct answer, though, you are out of the game.
However, if it is a wrong answer, we will resume the clock with 2 options left, where one answer is right and one answer is wrong.
Josh said Kilimanjaro. David said frightened. Now neither of you want to help me. One of you is definitely lying to me. Maybe both, but definitely one.
Which answer will you eliminate?
I'm going to eliminate D, frightened.
Is that your final non-answer?
Frightened, final non-answer.
The expert told you the answer was frightened. However, you have chosen to ignore his scholarly advice.
David, was frightened a wrong answer?
Frightened was not the correct option either. Here's the situation. You are left with just 2 answers. One wins you 500,000 gems, limitless power, and the chance to grow that.
The other answer will end your game with a mere 1,000 gems and mortality.
53 seconds remain on the clock, resuming now.
Was Josh lying to me? I know you don't want to help me, so you lie to me. And because you're lying, I should go for Serengeti. But you knew that I would go for the opposite, as you were actually telling the truth, and it is Kilimanjaro.
Then go for it.
I will. I'm going to say... But... Hang on. You knew that I would figure out that you were telling the truth. Which means you were lying. I've made a decision. I'm going to go with Serengeti. C, the first place I destroy when I get out of here. Final answer.
You went for Olympus, which was wrong. You then eliminated Frightened, which was also wrong, leaving you with 2 answers.
Josh, you said you knew the answer and that it was Kilimanjaro.
The question is, were you telling the truth when you said it was that answer?
For 500,000 gems and limitless power, the answer was... Kilimanjaro.
No!
If you could come with us, please, sir. That was very brave, telling him the correct answer. And I'm glad the world is safe and all, and that he was stopped, but part of me is annoyed he didn't go for it, seeing as it could have won me 500,000 gems. Yes, that does remind me. Josh, you leave with 1,000 gems.
The words are appearing on screen now to show that Kilimanjaro is in fact the middle word.
Mount Kilimanjaro, the heart of Africa, not just the continent, but the song itself.
David, what country is it in?
Tanzania, I believe, same as the Serengeti.
Surprised you knew that.
What do you mean? I am an expert after all, and I've won 251,000 gems on this very programme, plus an extra 500,000 if you count our charity stint. Although, if I'm correct, and I believe I am, there are actually 270 words in the song, which means that technically, the answer isn't just Kilimanjaro, but Kilimanjaro and rises. I think I deserve a second chance. How far will Josh go in his second chance? Find out some other time.